Today's tooltip, we're going to be looking at third basement walls. We're going to be looking at how to insert them efficiently and what materials they include. Once the ground floor plan has been established, the foundation can then be created to support the main floor. To insert a foundation plan, we're going to be using the Floor and Foundation Builder Wizard, and you can access that by either going underneath the Insert menu, under Design Wizards, and selecting the Floor and Foundation Builder. Or if you like to use the buttons underneath the Building tab, simply use the drop-down and select the Floor and Foundation Builder Wizard. This will launch the Floor and Foundation Builder Wizard, and we can simply select Next. We want to make sure that we are choosing the correct level, so we want to be inserting this on the foundation level, and we also want to make sure that we are using the foundation location for our designs. We're going to make sure that that is also selected. Simply press Next. Under the Select Foundation Style and Building Elements, we want to define the type of foundation we're trying to create. And as you can see, we have a wall and footing option, a basement option, a slab on grade, and a monolithic option. As you can tell, we cannot select Next until we've established what the elements are that make up that particular construction. So we want to make sure that each one of these are set up with an actual element. So we're going to select walls. And this is going to bring up the catalog access, and it's going to allow us to choose the type of wall we want to be bringing in. We're going to select the 10-inch poured concrete framed basement wall system, which is going to be underneath our concrete folder. I'm going to open up the properties of this. So I'm going to go to Edit Element, just so you can see exactly what this wall is made up of. So as you can see, this is a 10-inch poured concrete framed basement wall system, and it's actually set to be a framed wall. What we're doing here is we're taking a framed wall and we're adding in a 10-inch exterior component to it. So if I select the Select button beside Component Layout, we'll see exactly the components that are being used to create this particular wall. So as you can see, we have our 10-inch poured concrete, we have our 2x4 insulated core, and then we also have a 1/2-inch 4x8 drywall sheet being used to create this particular wall assembly. Now, if I go back to the 2x4 insulated core, we can see that under the Select component, we can go into it and we can see exactly what this particular component is made up of. So this one, if we go into it, is using a 2x4 framing member. Now this 2x4 framing member can be any type of framing member that you want. It is just a member that is chosen from our members library. So if you want this to be actual pressure treated lumber, you can use the exterior grade and you can select a pressure treated option, which will be used for your studs, your bottom plates, and your blocking. I'm just going to click cancel on that. And then the other thing that we can take a look at in here is the quantities. So the quantity of each of these is also going to be important because each of these components consists of its own quantity information. So this one is going to include the poly vapor barrier as well as the insulation. If we click cancel on there and we go to the drywall and we look at its components, it's also going to have its own quantity information that is going to be used again to calculate what that component is made up of. When all of this is said and done, when you go back into the actual quantity tab of the actual wall, all of that is also going to be included. As you can see, it's a part of the components, but you're also going to get the foundation wall measurements, which will also help you with calculations. I'm just going to click cancel on that, and then we're going to simply say OK. We're going to select the floors option, and we're going to make sure that the floor option is the selected one, and then we're going to select our 4-inch concrete floor, and we're going to say OK. And then our footings are going to be 1 foot by 1'8" rectangular solid strip footings, and we're going to say OK. Now that we have each one of those options selected, we're going to select Next. This is going to bring us into the Adjust the Position of Elements. And what we're going to be able to do here is we're going to be able to adjust exactly how these elements are going to be stacked in relation to each other. And on the left-hand side, you can see a little preview. You can right-click in that preview and you can select Rendered Outline, or you can select Hidden Line to help give you a better understanding of what we are adjusting. The first thing we need to adjust is the actual wall in relation to our wall above. So we're going to make sure that this is set to wall. We want to move our foundation wall in 1/2 inch to give us a bit of a drip edge from our exterior veneer to our foundation. So we're going to make sure that that is set to 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to simply press tab. That's going to move the foundation wall in 1/2 inch towards the inside of our design. The overall thickness of the basement wall is going to be 10 inches for the concrete and 4 inches for the stud and our finished materials. The footing automatically centers itself under the core portion of the wall. With just a concrete wall, this would be perfect, but since this wall has concrete as the exterior surface and the stud as the core, we need to adjust the footing to center under the concrete and not the stud wall. So again, what we're going to do now is we're going to adjust the adjust element to be footing. So the footing can be moved towards the inside or the outside a set distance as well. So our distance to move the footing from centering on the stud wall that is 4 inches wide to centering on the concrete wall that is 10 inches wide is going to be 7 inches. To get this number, the center point of the stud is going to be 2 inches plus half the concrete wall is 5 inches. So added together, that is going to give us 7 inches. So I'm going to type in 7 inches, and we're going to move this towards the outside because our core is in the inside, our concrete is on the outside. We're moving this to the outside, and we're going to say next. Then we're going to select finish. We're going to go down into the lower left-hand corner, and we're going to use the drop-down, and we're going to select the foundation location. And we can now see our foundation plan has been added in, and our footings are now centered underneath the wall itself. If we want to display the framing, we can simply go down into our view filter, open the plus sign beside walls, unlock the wall framing, and open the eye beside wall framing and say OK. The studs are now visible, and we can see our furred concrete basement walls have been added in. We hope this tooltip helps you moving forward. If you like what we are creating, press the like button and be sure to subscribe for future videos. If you have any comments, please let us know below in the comments section. Thank you very much.